Alright, welcome to my review of the Sena SMH5 Bluetooth intercom. It sells for around 240 quid, that's for a pair. You can buy them individually as well. So I'll firstly run through some of the good stuff about it and then I'll talk about some of the not so good. The first thing I found was it's relatively easy to install. So you've got the Bluetooth unit on the side here with a jog wheel and a button on the back. This clamps on with a little clamp. It should fit most helmet types, but if not, it comes with a 3M sticky patch as well, so you can kind of glue it onto the side. And then you just run the cables onto the inside and take all of the padding from inside your helmet. You stick 2 earpieces in, and then in a full-faced helmet you've got a wired mic that you can stick onto the inside there. It also comes with a boom mic for open-face helmets, but then you just put all the padding back in and you're good to go. Might be a little bit of a fiddle for some people. It really depends on what type of helmet you've got, but it took me probably an hour to do a couple of helmets one evening. The features that we tend to use the most are for commuting. Myself and my wife, we're 2-up, so we'll use this just to talk to each other throughout the ride. I've not really used it for rider-to-rider communication, more just rider-to-passenger, but for our purposes it's been great. The sound quality is decent and we never really have any problems with connectivity. The battery is quoted at 7 or 8 hours, so you can do pretty much a week of commuting on a relatively short commute with that. If you're traveling or doing longer rides, then I tend to take a USB splitter so that I can take the cables with me and plug them into the mains and charge them all up at once. But it only takes 2 to 3 hours to charge up, so it'll easily do overnight. So no problems there whatsoever for me. You can also connect it to your mobile phone. So there's a red button on the back here. You hit that and it will talk through Bluetooth to a smartphone. The times that I found this most useful have been using Google Maps to navigate. So if it's been raining and I haven't wanted my phone mounted on my bars or in my tank bag, then listening to the directions is probably your best bet. I tend to find this really effective for getting places with Google Maps, because even if you take a wrong turn or you miss a direction, it'll just automatically reroute and get you there in the end. The only limitation of this, though, I suppose, is that you can't have the directions as well as the intercom at the same time, so you have to switch between. So you've got to know when the next turn is coming up, perhaps, and know to change back in time. You can also play music through your phone, so Spotify or something like that. Another nice feature is that you can actually share music as well. So if you're listening to music from your phone and you want to share it with your passenger or another rider, you can press and hold the main button and that will share it with the other headset. And you can actually access Siri. It's a little bit frustrating because you have to leave your phone unlocked, so sometimes you might press it and you'll say your phone's locked, thus defeating the purpose of it, because you would have to stop, get your phone out and unlock it. But if you can access Siri, then you can start doing kind of voice commands, so to call certain people or message certain people or ask certain questions, which can be really useful on the go. Of course, you can make phone calls as well. I don't use that as often, but I've done it every now and again, and it's pretty similar to just using it as an intercom. I'd say the sound quality is generally decent, especially for intercom or phone calls. You do get a little bit of wind noise from time to time, but that's inevitable. And I guess one tip for anyone that's thinking about buying this is that we actually found that on the motorway at 70 miles an hour or so, it's actually easier to hear it with plugs in and turned right up. Something perhaps to do with the plugs cutting out the right frequencies of wind noise. But generally we've found any speed, you can usually hear one another. That starts to bring me on to some of the less good features. I would say that the sound quality isn't amazing for music. It's quite tinny and there's not a great deal of bass. I don't really think that you're going to be using this headset to listen to your favourite music in the way it was meant to be heard. Of course, the sound quality is going to be pretty poor anyway because you're wearing a helmet and riding along on a motorbike, but it's generally not that great, and I've heard that the SMH10 might be a little bit better. And that's probably where most people's considerations lie with buying this. Is it worth buying the SMH5 or spending a little bit more on the SMH10? So the battery life is apparently better on the SMH10. As I've said, for my purposes, short commutes and the odd day trip, it's totally fine. But if you're doing more riding and longer days of riding, then I've read that the SMH10 goes up to about 10 or 12 hours of battery life in one charge. And again, another consideration here is the range of the SMH5. So for rider to passenger communication, it's obviously fine because they're right behind you. I've read mixed reports about the range of the SMH5 for rider to rider situations. So especially in urban environments where you've got a lot of buildings around you, apparently it's not that great and it tends to perform better in a more open environment. And that's something that might be improved with the SMH10. So if you're looking for rider to rider communication in an urban setting, or you know that there might be quite big distances between the two of you, then perhaps the SMH10 is a better bet. There are a few other bits and bobs as well on the SMH10, so it has an auxiliary output. So if you were moto vlogging or making your own videos and you wanted to record the sound from there, that's an option where you don't have that with the SMH5. Generally, I'd say as well that the microphone isn't, I mean, it's fine for intercoms, but probably not that great for making videos or that kind of thing, so you might not want to record it anyway. But all in, I'd say I'm really happy with this as a purchase. The price is not extortionate. I'm sure there's cheaper kind of knockoff versions out there, but I prefer to have something like this where you've got the customer support if you need it. I bought these from Infinity in central London. They're generally pretty good when it comes to returns and those kinds of things. The features are great, the sound quality is great, it does everything that we need really. I'd say the main drawback really is that there are better features on the SMH10, so that might be an option, but otherwise I think it's pretty great. So if you've got any questions about it, leave them in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos like this, then please click subscribe.